listening to the Fun with Horror podcast with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Hello to our amazing and wonderful and just all-around perfect horror family community friends. We love you. And of course, you are listening to Fun with Horror, the weekly horror movie review podcast in which my best friend in the world, Scotty, and we take turns giving each other movies to watch, and then we will discuss them the following week. We have two rules, and the first one is whoever picks the movie must pick one they've never seen, and the second rule is both of us have to watch it. The last pick was me, and I picked a 2017 movie called Veronica, and it's directed by Paco Plaza, and it stars Sandra Escacena, excuse me. And
Good job.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I might as well butcher this intro. Of course, stick around to the end of this podcast where we're going to hear Scotty's movie for next week, which I am very excited about. But without further ado, hi, friend.
Hello, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
Hi.
Hi.
It's another Tuesday.
Yes, that's right. It is Tuesday on my calendar, too.
Buddy.
Yeah.
We recently had a discussion.
Yes.
And you finally saw The Batman.
I did.
And,
see it.
You know, you liked it.
Yeah.
You didn't love it.
Yeah.
You liked it.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not going to get into that.
But people, if they want to know, I thought it was okay. Sure.
But here's my question, because it made me think of some things.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I'm projecting this wish onto you.
Okay.
Have you ever watched a movie and had an initial opinion of it, but then you just kept thinking about it, and the more you thought about it, the more you realized you liked it more than you thought.
Mm-hmm.
And you really looked forward to going back and watching it again, and yeah. Has a movie ever done that? You didn't watch it a second time yet. It just stuck in your mind so long and so much that you're like, you know what? I think that was a better movie than I thought.
I think I might have one, but I want to hear. I'm curious.
No, I want you to go first.
All right, fine. I'm not gonna say Psycho Gorman if that's what.
No,
you're
because
thinking.
you haven't seen it. No, that's not what I'm thinking at all. This is a serious question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm projecting it on you because I hope the Batman does that. I hope the more you think about it, the more you're like, maybe I was a little bit too hard on the Batman.
Mm-hmm. So I am going to say a movie, and the only thing is we say it all the time.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And that is Titan.
Oh.
Because
that's a great one.
Yeah, because like I mentioned the first time, I really didn't know what to think. But ever since, you and I have talked about it a number of times since then as well, and just the more I think about it and the more I can kind of understand the everything else that's going on in that movie, what it represents, what it's about. It really has, like you, I would say, kind of opened our minds a little bit to other movies and see what they're really about. And so I think that's definitely one that has stuck with me. I watched it twice that week, but I haven't watched it again since. But it definitely is now one that has stuck with me. So.
Okay, see if you can think of one further back.
Oh, okay.
And one that, you didn't see a second time.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, for me...
Yeah.
And this is going to go partly outside of the horror genre, but weirdly enough, and this is one we've talked about, Batman v Superman. And people are going to shut off the podcast right now. I did not really... I had a lot of issues with that movie when I first watched it. But then I just kept thinking about it. And the more I thought about it, the more I couldn't wait to watch it again. Nice. The more I liked it. And then, eventually I did watch it again, and I liked it so much more the second time.
Nice.
But it had already improved in my head. Yeah, I don't know. I kept thinking about the things that I didn't care for, and I'm like, that's I actually like that movie. And another one is one you haven't seen that I don't think you've seen, Underwater.
No, I have not.
And that one though, that one I did like when I saw it, but my love for it just kind of grew and grew after I saw it, like in the following days and stuff. I just kept thinking about it, and it grew into like I was I didn't really have any issues with it the first time I saw it, but I liked it even more the more I thought about it.
Nice.
So
That's good. I like that.
yeah, buddy.
So I think I thought of one.
Oh yeah.
Again, kind of out of the horror genre, but so the first time I saw Ed Wood, this was a long time ago, quite a while ago.
Yeah,
where I thought, it was good, like it was interesting, it was fine.
Yeah.
But it was, again, one of those ones that kind of stuck with me. And sure enough, it took me a while, but then I watched again, and I was like, this is great. I don't know what it was, but there was something about it that just struck me, the second time, and I was like, this is just a good...
So even before you saw it that second time, it just grew on you in your mind?
Yep, I kept thinking about it. And I was going through, at the time, I was really doing a Tim Burton phase. And that one was kind of just obscure and a little different than what he had been doing, I guess, sort of at the time. But it just stuck with me. And then when I watched it again, I just was like, what a charming little movie. Like, I get it. I like this. It makes sense now. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah. So
see, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was getting at.
Nice. All right.
And now another little thing,
Yes.
little tidbit that has nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a couple movies, and I recommend them both.
Oh, okay.
Number one, I saw Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Right. Nice.
Don't want to get anybody's expectations up too much, but I thought it was one of the better movies I've seen in my life.
Wow, that's high praise, man.
And then last night,
Mm-hmm.
and you can now watch this too because I added it to the library.
Ooh.
I watched Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley.
Oh, okay.
So this is a movie. Nightmare Alley is a movie that I actually was going to pick as one of our movies.
Yeah.
One week. But then I heard a couple things, and I asked a friend at work if it was a horror movie, if it would fit in. And he said, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up not picking it, and I picked Dr. Giggles instead. So
that was the one.
There was a couple movies I was thinking of, if you remember.
Yep.
I didn't pick either of them.
Nice. Okay.
I can't remember what the other one was right now, but yeah, Nightmare Alley was the second one. And so last night I watched it, and it's more of a mystery. There's not really much horror in that movie.
Nice.
Yeah, it's more of a noir type movie.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely recommend. It's a steadily paced movie.
Gotcha.
Kind of slow, but never boring, at least to me.
Okay, good to know.
And I've got to say, it's got some of the best cinematography that I've seen in a while, and especially in a Guillermo del Toro movie. And
wow,
he's had some good cinematography in his movies, but
He has.
this one is top notch.
Nice, dude. Okay, that's good to know.
So there you go. Nightmare Alley. I recommend it.
Cool.
Necesito que te tranquilices y me describas lo que estás viendo. ¡Está aquí! ¿Sigues ahí? ¿Hola?
Okay, so Andrew,
Yes.
last week you picked this movie
did.
that it's called Veronica.
Right.
And I want to remind everybody that we talked about it, and I mentioned that there are articles that come out that are very sensationalized,
Right.
that mention some horror movie that's on Netflix and how so many people All these people couldn't watch the entire movie. They had to turn it off. It was so scary.
Right.
And you mentioned that, you had heard that this was a very, very scary movie.
Yes.
So we both walked into this with some amount of trepidation, wondering which movie we were going to get.
Right.
An actual scary movie or a lot of hot air.
Right.
So the moment has come, buddy. What did you think of Veronica?
So I was very scared going into this after our last conversation, just because I was like, oh, crap, what did I pick?
And not scared because you thought it might be scary. But
Correct. But scared that it was going to be really bad.
Yeah.
So let me go out and say, first things first. Is this the scariest movie ever made? Absolutely not.
Of course not.
No. Was there any point in this movie where I personally had to turn the movie off due to fear? Absolutely not.
I mean, let's put it this way. The fact that I had never heard of it
Right.
is kind of proof that it's not the scariest movie ever made.
Right. Right.
Because everybody would be talking about it.
Exactly. Yep.
So continue,
So
please.
definitely to me and you, it sounds like not scary. But did I have a good time while watching this? I thought this was actually a pretty decent movie. I was not disappointed with it. I was a little disappointed with how not scary it was. But overall, I had a good time with it.
Okay.
What about you?
So I don't think this is a bad movie at all.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I'm just not going to even give audience to the claims that it's the scariest movie ever made. Because
Right.
obviously it's not.
Yes.
In a world where we have movies like The Exorcist and
Conjuring.
Conjuring or according to science, Sinister.
Really?
Ziggy, you leave Bowie alone. See, I told you he was going to do it, and he almost did it.
It's right when the
Anyway.
mics come on. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Sinister, though. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to stop him from doing it when the mics were off. But anyway, yeah, so science said that Sinister is the scariest movie ever made.
Interesting.
Scientifically. There's a movie that unseated it too, and I can't remember what it is. It's not important. But anyway, I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Okay. Yep.
The first time I watched it.
Oh.
The second time I watched it, this is one of the few times where the second time I watched a movie, my opinion of it started to go a little bit down.
Oh. Okay.
And we'll get into why in a little bit. But first, I want you to give us a 3-minute recap of this movie. But before you do so, I want to remind everybody that this is a spoiler-filled podcast.
Yes.
We are going to spoil Veronica. So if you have not seen it, it's available for free on Netflix or however much Netflix costs to you.
Right.
But it's on Netflix. If you're one of the 200 million people that haven't dropped their subscription, you can watch it right now and then come back and listen. If you've seen it, great. Here we go.
Yep.
Andrew, are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
All right. Here you go. 3-minute recap of Veronica starting now.
All right. The movie starts out in 1991 everything is dark and rainy, and there's police outside of this apartment complex. We see a detective go upstairs with police force, walk in this door where obviously something bad is happening, and he just looks over, and fear in his eyes cuts to young Veronica, our main character, yawning in bed, and it's 3 days earlier, I think. Veronica I think she's 15 or so, and she's kind of she takes care of her siblings. She's kind of the person in charge of the house because mom works late at night and all day really at this cafe. So she's kind of taking care of her 3 little siblings. Well, on the next day at school, there's a solar eclipse that's going to happen. And so as it's happening, Veronica and her 2 friends sneak away with a Ouija board because Veronica wants to talk to her dad who's passed away, and one of the friends wants to talk to a boyfriend that had passed away the year prior. So they start doing the seance right as, of course, the solar eclipse is happening outside, and things start to get crazy. the two girls that are with Veronica kind of back away from the Ouija board, but Veronica is obviously in some kind of trance, and she passes out and then screams and wakes up. And thus begins this adventure with Veronica. Throughout the movie, we see that she's put the Ouija board away, and every once in a while it pops out or it finds its place somewhere else. Many points she's scared by some being, some creature that has showed up. We usually see it in shadow form or this monstrous form. At one point, she does wake up in the middle of the night and sees this creature, but it looks just like her dad, and he's completely naked, walking towards her, and then she's attacked and, of course, wakes up. This happens numerous times where she sees something in this apartment complex. Cut to, I guess, really towards the end. Obviously, this happens throughout. Lots of bad things happen, as you would expect in a Ouija board movie. Towards the end, though, we find out that she, of course, wants to protect her siblings, and so kind of challenges the demons. They find out that they need to do a seance and say goodbye to the demon to get it away from them. They start doing that. Of course, she and the demon kind of have an altercation at the end. The siblings run. Two of them do. One is hiding in the closet. She's essentially fighting this demon, and it's kind of got a hold of her, and she ends up sort of cutting herself, and eventually, on her way to the hospital, dies. And then we see the detective at the beginning that walked in, and he's now writing up his notes based on everything that he's witnessed, which I should end this by saying that this movie is technically based on a true story, but a lot of liberties were taken. Boom.
All right. Well, I was worried there because you started by setting the scene again, like 20 seconds in, and we were just getting into past the intro of the movie.
I know, but I knew this one I
wow.
was going to do. Because there's this, yeah.
Did you practice?
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you said, and this is the important thing of this movie, and this is why I do like this movie.
Oh, okay.
It is based on a true story.
Right.
Did you read the true story?
I did. Yes.
Okay. I actually wrote a lot of it down.
Ooh, okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I don't want to forget this, but the real life Veronica, her name was Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro.
Very good.
And the same thing happened. She played with a Ouija board at school with friends, and a teacher walked in on them, and the glass that they were using as a planchette, it shattered when the teacher walked in, and smoke came out of it, and the teacher and her friends say that they witnessed Estefania breathing the smoke in.
Yikes.
And they think that's how she became not really, it's kind of like not actually possessed.
Right,
but
right. Haunted almost, or?
Yeah, like this demon or whatever is now attached to her.
Right, there you go.
And actually, this happened like, a year, like 18, she was 18 years old when she died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was like months, like 6 months or something. And she died late summer 1991.
Mm-hmm.
The movie, she dies June 15th, I think.
Yeah, right around there.
2 days before my birthday. Thank you. Awesome.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, so she died late summer 1991. Now, the scary thing is that the hauntings continued in her house. She had parents. I can't remember if she had siblings. I think she did. And they continued. Yikes. And almost a year and a half later, they finally called the police.
Jeez. And
the important thing to note is that when the police came by, they actually witnessed paranormal happenings.
Wowza.
And it is the only time, as far as I know, it is the only time still on record that paranormal events have been recorded in a police report.
That's crazy, dude.
Eventually, the family moved, and when they moved, the events stopped. And when new people moved into that apartment, nothing happened to them. So that's a weird thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Also, the burning of her picture burning.
Oh, yeah.
That was taken from something that supposedly happened in real life.
Ooh, that I didn't see. That's
Like supposedly a photo of Estefania started spontaneously burning, and it just in her face.
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when you read about the actual case, and this is one of my faults with the movie,
Oh, okay.
when you read about the actual case, it's scarier than the movie was. If the movie had followed the actual events a little more, it would have been scarier.
Totally fair. Yeah, I wonder why they wouldn't then. You know,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Who took liberties there? Get it together, companies.
Well, talk to me. Tell me about this movie.
I'll kind of go through it. So I'll go through kind of what we do. I'll talk a little bit about what I kind of disliked.
Go for it.
One, and maybe this was just me because I love Conjuring so much. I just felt like there was a lot of similarities, and this came out a few years after the Conjuring success. And I wonder if they took a little bit from it. I don't know. Just some of the cuts and some of the shots were very. I went, oh, that reminded me a lot of Conjuring, which maybe it was homage, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was in my head. But I felt that there was just a few things where I went,
See, I get that. I didn't think of The Conjuring specifically, but I did feel like this movie just basically everything that this movie did, I'd seen in other haunting movies.
Yep, and I have that same note, actually.
Yeah.
That there was a lot of moments where I'd seen that. So, I will say there was one moment, one thing I genuinely hate is when a shot in a movie is sped up. So when they're doing the Ouija board and her finger goes freaky and you can obviously tell it's fast, they sped it up. I can't stand shots like that. It takes me out.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to fault the movie too much for that. Because a lot of times it's done on purpose.
Right.
I don't think this movie did it on purpose. I think they sped it up because they wanted her to move her fingers, but she couldn't physically move them that fast.
Gotcha.
And near the end, when they lift up, when the little boy is lifted up by the demon, he's a little boy, so obviously they can't pick him up that fast.
Right.
So I don't think that they did the speed ups in a manner that it's supposed to try and scare you.
Okay, I think
it was just they had to shoot it slowly because those things were supposed to happen faster, and the effects just didn't look super great. Maybe.
Right. That's fair. Okay. Okay, and then I'll say really it's my last gripe, but it's kind of my main one is, and I think you and I have talked about this a little bit, but when you finally see a creature, the movie's less scary. And I feel like this one, they showed the creature kind of early on. Like, I didn't mind the shadows. They were fine. But they did a few close-ups of the creature. And I don't know. To me, it wasn't very scary, and it kind of took me out. And they showed it quite a bit in this movie.
Yeah.
And so to me, I was like, meh, that's not that scary.
I mean, it looked more like an alien.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
There's other movies where I've seen this same exact creature, and same with me. It didn't really. There were creepy moments with it, like when it was in the hallway and then in the reflection in the TV. That was really cool.
That was cool. Yep.
But it was still. I just thought it was cool.
Right.
I didn't think it was scary.
Yep.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So that was a big chunk of it for me, and part of why I didn't think it was scary is just because we see it a lot. I feel like this movie, they just kind of kept throwing it out there rather than letting us use our imagination, which I think is like we've talked about. It's scarier that way when you use our imagination. Once you give us what you want us to see, it's okay.
I'm super with you.
Nice.
Super with you.
Look at that.
I also have little tiny gripes, though.
Yeah, please, because those are kind of my. That's what I have for my.
Okay, here's one that really bugged the crap out of me.
Okay.
The music was fine, but there was this main little whistle thing.
Yes.
And every single time I just kept thinking of the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It just I mean, I need to go back and rewatch the Hunger Games to see how close it is, but like I know the Hunger Games is like da 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 da.
Yeah.
But every time that this whistle would happen, whatever,
Yeah.
I can't whistle right now.
No, you're good.
And I don't think I can whistle through my spit screen or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that bugged me.
Yeah, I get that.
I didn't think that. I don't know. I just kept thinking somebody was whistling, and I'm like, stop it.
You're right.
Just stop. It wasn't good music.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it wasn't as scary
yeah.
as they were intending, I think.
But, I mean, that's it. The other things are little things, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no. They're not little things.
Okay.
My biggest gripe
Uh-oh, okay.
with this entire movie, and this is jumping towards the end of the movie, is the moment when she goes back into her apartment. She's taken her 2 sisters out, and her little brother, she realizes she's not actually carrying her little brother like she thought.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes back in, and there's this, like, weird Sixth Sense moment where she's looking in the mirror and all of a sudden thinking back to the rest of the movie and all these hauntings and kind of realizing that she was doing everything.
Right.
Like, what was that? Because I was sitting there appreciating the fact that this was just a good haunting movie.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the movie's like, oh, was it really a haunting, or was she doing everything and it was all in her head?
Right. Right.
And I'm just like, no, dude, don't do that.
Right.
And then it just makes no sense to do that, because then afterwards they make a big deal of this being the one time that paranormal activity was witnessed by police.
Right.
And I'm like, so why even sit there?
I get
Okay,
that.
the only thing I can think of is that they're saying that she was possessed, that the demon was inside her, that every time she was seeing the demon visually, the demon was acting through her, that she was actually doing these things.
Right.
But it was the demon acting through her.
Right.
I still didn't think it was that needed.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the scary thing about The Conjuring is that everybody in that house saw the paranormal events happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
It wasn't like one person seeing it and everybody else not believing them.
Right.
That I remember, right?
Right. No, yeah. No, you're
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to me, that's scarier than one person experiencing things and then everybody else thinking that she's imagining it, even though her siblings are so young that they're just like, oh, we believe you.
Right. Yep.
So that bugged the crap out of me.
I get that. Nope. I get it. Yeah,
Did you think about that at all?
I didn't, I guess.
See, I thought that was going to bother you.
No.
Because last week we talked about maybe finally, even though we love movies with metaphors and stuff like that, we thought maybe we were getting a movie that wasn't really that metaphorical. And while I didn't think this was metaphorical, I thought they were doing the whole is it real or isn't it trope.
So I actually went down kind of a rabbit hole with this one for metaphors. Yeah. And
Oh, no.
No, yeah. And obviously it's based on a true story. We get that. But I read a couple things, and one I can't even remember what it was, but I was like, I don't think that's what this movie's about. The other one wasn't bad. And so I was like, I mean, it's what the subject matter's horrible, but what they represent or how the movie did it, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You want to hear it?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So, and this, I will say this will, for anyone listening, of course, this is going to be a trigger warning for sexual abuse. But my thought, or what someone had written out, and I kind of, as I was reading, I went, oh, interesting. Horrible, but interesting. Was the very first time that she sees the demon, it's her dad naked. Now, did that represent some kind of trauma? Why was he naked? You know, obviously this could just be he was a demon, whatever. Or could it be something else? Then we also see that the little brother has wet the bed, which kids wet their beds, of course, that happens. But it can also be a sign of trauma. And then the first time when she does see her naked dad, she's held down on the bed by arms. And then, when they find the shadows under the bed, did that represent trauma areas? Like those were the areas where the trauma happened, and that shadow is always going to be there kind of as that stain, in their life. Even like at the end, and then like at the end, saying goodbye to the trauma, saying goodbye to the person that did it, and trying to, of course, moving on is difficult and, but trying maybe to move on by saying goodbye to the demon. And then the last thing that they kind of mentioned was not that she would necessarily do this, but that worry of having those genes in her. Maybe that was why she kind of took her life at the end with that glass. Was that her saying, I don't want to be that person. I'm supposed to protect these kids, as the nun had said to her, and that those genes are in me. And she was worried that would, I don't know, just having those genes, it was like, this is my way to protect them. I don't know. But I thought those are kind of the steps they said, and I thought it was a very interesting theory.
All right, well, let's take this metaphor theory one step further.
Okay.
She tells her mom at one point, nothing happens when you're home. So, man, look at you. Look at you go. Look at you go with that metaphor.
Well, I just I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna poo-poo it as soon as you started saying it because, this is based on a true story, and in the true story, there's nothing about abuse.
Right, and that's,
she's got a dad and a mom.
Right, and and I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form to the real family. This is just movie version, so.
But that's interesting, and I'd be interested to know if the director intended any of that metaphor.
I don't know. Yeah, just kind of, I don't know. It stuck with me after reading it. I just went,
Because I will tell you this. I do remember after I finished watching the movie, and I looked up the real story of Estefania, I felt more than scared, I felt sad. I felt sad for Veronica because of what she had to go through.
Right.
And if there is that metaphor in there, then that further reinforces maybe a subconscious sadness that I felt.
Right.
Because, I mean, when it ended, I just felt this, just the sadness that, she did the Ouija board thing. Her friends abandoned her and her friend who, a-hole.
Yeah.
Because her friend, the demon tells her friend, who this isn't revealed until the party with more cigarette smoke at a party than I've ever seen in my life.
Gosh, you're right.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah.
As a non-smoker, that was horrible.
Right.
Not to mention the blind nun blowing cigarette smoke all over her. I'm like, seriously, stop.
Right.
But sorry, that was a tangent.
No.
I just, her friends, this friend abandoned her because the demon told her through Veronica that Veronica was going to die Saturday night. And instead of being there for her, she shied away, which is not that unbelievable. I can't say I like that metaphor.
Right. No. Right.
But it makes some sense. So,
yeah,
I can't totally discount that.
Right. It just stuck with me, and so I was like, I have to bring this up.
But another part of the sad part of it, and this is one other thing I didn't really care for, and the second time I watched it, I noticed it even more. I don't like the little bit of false hope they give you at the end.
Yeah.
Because, they wheel her out on the ambulance stretcher. And because right up to that moment, you're thinking that, oh, is she dead?
Right.
And then all of a sudden they wheel her out. And you're like, oh, good. Veronica's okay. Actually, she's going to survive. Wow.
Yep.
But then no. Then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, the cop just like gets a call. The girl died.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? I didn't like that.
I agree. No, I totally agree with you. That was weird. Because I even was like, oh, nice, okay. Well, this is gonna be an interesting. I'll have to look up interviews with her, and then nope.
No, and I think part of me thinks that was just an attempt to be somewhat more faithful to the true story, because she went into a coma and she actually died in the hospital.
Right.
But I mean, they had already gone away from the story enough. I think it would have been okay for her to just pass there at the house if they're going to kill her off anyway.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't like that.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, the opening of the movie was good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some good things.
Yeah. No, I agree.
The opening of the movie was very unsettling.
Yes, I totally agree. I liked seeing that the detective's face was just in total and utter shock, because it really did make you go, what in the heck is he looking at?
And I liked in a kind of hearing the demon over the phone.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's terrifying.
Yep.
Having the kids calling and saying he's inside, and then kind of hearing this unearthly like screaming.
Yeah.
That it set a good tone for the movie, I'd say.
Yeah. Oh,
Although then
I
I don't know if it's a good tone. Having it morph into her yawning.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
like that seems to be a great metaphor for this entire movie. You have things that could be scary, but then they're just kind of ruined by something silly.
That's fair. That does happen quite a bit. You're right. Interesting.
What'd you think of the actress, Sandra Escacena?
I thought she was good. Yeah, I thought she was a good little actress.
I thought she was good. I thought she was a little stiff at times.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep, that's fair. But yeah.
I was actually much more impressed by her siblings.
Yes, I was going to say that too. They were great.
Like her two sisters, Lucia and Irene, who are played by Bruna González and Claudia Placer.
Mm-hmm.
They were both wonderful.
Yes.
And so was oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Iván Chavero. He played Antonito.
Yes.
And how cute was that kid?
Dude, honestly, one of the cutest kids I've ever seen. I truly mean that. He was adorable. Oh
Wait.
my gosh.
Have you or have you not seen The Haunting of Hill House?
No, I haven't.
Okay. You need to watch that because that's the one show that this kid has a rival.
Uh-oh.
Cute kid.
Okay.
There's a kid in that show.
Yeah.
That is so cute. It just hurts your heart every time you see him. But yeah, these kids were amazing, and the best part, and I realized that watching it a second time, was that to me they actually felt like siblings.
Agreed. Yes.
Like if somebody came back and told me after I watched it that, oh, you know what, they were played by real brothers and sisters, I would have been like, wow, I believe it.
Yep.
They were very good.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, and I loved they were just sassy to each other, which I appreciated because I see that with my kiddo. So I was like, oh yeah, that's about right. Yeah. But it's cute and it was funny and charming and silly. So they were all great. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the silly things is that they decided to do the Ouija board scene during a solar eclipse. Mm-hmm. Which, okay,
right.
Cool. I guess solar eclipses are creepy.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
They're the time when demons are closest or something. I don't know.
Well, that was what the teacher said, was during a solar eclipse, that's when people did their sacrifices.
Yeah.
So that was what I was going with. We'll go with it.
I will say that there was a very cool cinematic shot of the top of the roof of the school with all the kids on it.
Yep.
That was a very cool shot. It was just one shot, and it was because of the way the sun was shining, and they had their shadows like stretching out behind them.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah.
What did you think of? I know you mentioned her with the smoking, but what did you think of Sister Death?
Sister Death. Mm-hmm. My first thought was, wait, is this that movie? I want you to real quick on your computer. Are you in front of your computer?
I know which one you're talking about. With the picture of the blind nun on the cover?
The Devil Inside.
Yes.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
For a second, I was like, wait, is that Veronica?
Right?
No, that's a different movie. But yeah, there's a movie called The Devil Inside, and the poster is this blind nun looking at the camera.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, this is like, she looks exactly like that blind nun.
She really did. That's funny.
You know what I didn't look up? I didn't look up to see if it was the same actress, but I doubt it.
Right, no. She's really typecast. We're looking for a blind nun. Anybody?
But other than that, I mean, other than just thinking she was the nun from The Devil Inside.
Yeah.
I don't know. She was whatever. She was fine.
Yeah.
You know, she was supposed to be the spiritual, weird, creepy nun that can see ghosts too. But the whole like her hiding in that basement,
Yeah.
smoking cigarettes was just, and then breathing her smoke all over Veronica.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, gross. Stop.
And I didn't like the character either because it really does set it up as like not a mentor, but someone that could help, or that senses this and maybe a good ally, and then nothing.
Yeah.
We're like, what was her point? Like, to tell us that she has something, inside of her? We know that. Like, I don't know. So she was fine. Like, the actress was fine and everything, but I just thought the character was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, except just to prove, just to reinforce Veronica's feeling that there's something haunting her.
Right.
But then, like, that was another thing. Veronica goes to the school on Saturday during the day.
Right, yeah.
And the nun just happens to be in the basement again smoking.
Right.
And then, like, the other sister comes down and catches them both.
Yeah.
And I thought they were about to pull a thing where, like, all of a sudden, like, the nun is only active and talkative when she's around Veronica and spirits. But as soon as somebody else appears, she's like this feeble old lady.
Right.
But then, no, not really. She just turns around and she says, whatever, look to the books. And
right.
The other sister's like, see, she does give good advice.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Although I will say,
yeah,
I was just going to say, I did like that she looked through the books, and I did love that scene of Veronica drawing like the, protection pictures and hanging them in the room. I thought that was, that's exactly what I would have done at 15 if I was, you know what I mean? I would have been the one doing that, drawing the pictures. So I thought that was clever, and I just liked that. I like that she did that.
Yeah, I like that. I did not like, however, the weird scenes of Veronica walking on the pages of the books.
Yeah, that was weird. I have that note too. Yes.
That was very strange.
Yeah. That was really weird.
It just didn't fit in with the rest of the movie.
No. I was like, is this a montage where she's going to we're going to hear 80s rock and she's going to be like looking through the books? But no, it was
not. Going back to her Ouija board experience, do you think she has a really big mouth, or do you think that was special effects?
That was special effects, for sure. That was huge.
Because that was creepy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there was no way.
She wasn't just yawning.
No.
in that scene.
No. Yeah, there was no way that was her real mouth. Like, that was just big enough to go, that's unsettling.
Yeah. So I guess let's talk about the hauntings.
Yeah. Yeah.
At her house. Some of them were good, some of them were not.
Yep. Agreed.
Most of them were pretty good, though. I mean, they weren't that scary, but they were they were adequate.
Right. Yeah, they were eerie.
I thought the stains under the bed that you mentioned,
Mhm.
like now they have a different meaning. That's weird. But
Yeah.
just the idea that the demon was hiding under each of their beds
Yeah.
and that it left a stain.
It's creepy.
But yeah, man,
Yeah.
tying that in with child molestation, that's woo.
Yeah, way worse.
That's heavy, dude.
Yep.
That's heavy.
Yep. Sorry. Yeah. 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 I did like I liked the Simon game scene. I thought that was creepy.
Yeah, I thought that was I didn't think it was that creepy.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I thought it was we're doing a toy coming to life thing.
Yeah, which I
It was
don't
just
mind.
it was a vehicle. It was like it was just it was a trope.
Yeah,
guess.
that's true. Yeah.
And I was just like, but I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was
It's just-
good. I
let
liked
me
it.
just say that. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah. The scene where the demon burns
Mm-hmm.
her little brother in the bathtub.
Oh, I hated that. Oh, it broke my heart. Yeah, I remember, for real though, I remember this watching like, I don't know, some documentary or some TLC show or something way back when. And a kid was going to, like, mom was busy, older sister was like, 6 or 7, put the baby in the bathtub and put it too hot. And he got all burnt and scarred. And eventually, he kind of he healed and stuff. But I thought of that, and that still scares me. Like, that haunts me of like, oh, she didn't know, but it was... So it brought back that memory, and I just went, that poor kid. Oh,
Yeah, but what's even more heartbreaking is if you go with what she saw at the end, that the demon was working through her, and she did turn the water up hot.
Oh,
And then the little boy, like, it just kills you. The boy saying it wasn't you.
oh, dude.
Like the boy would have seen her do it,
Right.
but then he knew inside, that it wasn't her that did it.
Oh, that's really horrible. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
sad. I didn't even catch
It is really
that.
sad.
Ugh.
But let's go to something more upbeat.
Yeah.
How about the morning she wakes up and her siblings come in and start eating her?
I was just going to bring that up. I love that scene. It was
So this
really
scene
dark.
was a weird scene too because it comes out of nowhere. All of a sudden, there's this like blood and gore that we haven't seen in this movie, really.
Yeah.
And then the shadow of her mom's hand comes down and gives her very first period ever.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, that was a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird.
But then, her friend asks her later. Rosa asks her later if she's been biting her own hand because she's got like markings on her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know about this movie, man.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
It is. That's true. Yeah. There's a lot going on.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about this one, buddy?
Yeah.
I got this one for you.
Lay it
So
on
we
me.
get to the last night,
Uh-huh.
and Veronica knows she's got to come home. They've got to do the seance, and they've got to say goodbye to the demon.
Right.
How old do you think that little boy was?
Like her brother?
Yeah.
I don't know.
3?
Yeah, probably.
3 or 4, maybe?
Yeah, little. Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
4, but 3 at least.
Yeah, yeah.
And she leaves it up to him to draw the most intricate symbols on the walls. Like, go draw these on the walls.
That's totally fair.
These super intricate symbols.
That's totally true.
And then lead us to believe that he turns the page and looks at the most confusing looking intricate symbol ever and is able to draw that on a wall. Come on.
I didn't even catch that, dude. That is totally true.
Yeah, because instead of they were supposed to be the warding symbols.
Yeah, right.
But then he turns the page to an invocation symbol that will actually call the demon in. Right. Which didn't really come to play, I mean, unless you just figure that's the reason that the little Centella commercial song did not get rid of him. I don't know. I will say here's a plus in the movie's favor.
Let's hear it.
When they're singing the Centella song and all the noises are happening in the apartment and stuff.
Right.
I'll tell you this, buddy. In surround sound, that was pretty cool.
Oh, Oh, nice. I bet.
Because those sounds were happening in all my speakers, and I was like, oh, that's pretty neat.
That's cool. I didn't even think of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, buddy, yeah.
Yeah, man. Nice.
What else you got? I don't know.
I was going to say, that's kind of my notes, dude. I don't really have much more.
I'm looking at my... Oh, there was a cool shot that I liked. I made a note of the painting with the black wolves chasing the elk.
Right. Yeah.
Symbolism of dark shadows chasing her.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. But then there was like a shot, a camera angle out of nowhere, looking up a stairwell into the sky and rotating. And as it rotates, it kind of has the shape of an inverted cross.
Yes, I caught that too. Yep.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was neat. That was a good way to do that.
Let's see, what else? The other thing that supports the idea that she's doing all this stuff, the demons controlling her, is during a couple of the scenes, the music that's playing on the TV, the dramatic television music, is the score to what she's seeing. Like, before the mom walks into the apartment, the night before everything goes crazy, she's seeing the shadow walk across the wall.
Right.
And then it comes to the door, and it's her mom. But while the shadow is walking towards the door, it's not the regular movie score. It's the score of whatever movie they're watching on TV.
That's clever.
Yeah, it happens a couple times, and I kind of liked it.
That's cool.
I kind of didn't. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's everything in this movie. It was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. That's fair.
Cool.
Totally fair.
So, let's just get to our 3 questions, buddy.
Nice.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
All right, so question number 1.
Yeah.
This is a weird one. What was your favorite kill or death in this movie?
I mean, really, the only person that dies is Veronica, and it's off screen. So, again, I think this is kind of a non-answer.
Yeah, because that's horribly sad, and I can't consider that my favorite.
Me either. So, yeah, none.
Skipping to the second question.
Yep.
Did you find this movie scary?
I did not. No.
Yeah, we already answered this one.
Yeah.
So neither of us really thought it was scary. But however, I will say that I do think that this movie could be scary to some people.
Yes, I agree.
I wouldn't say that this is not a scary movie.
Right. Yep.
It's a haunting movie. It's got some
possession.
It's got possession. It's got some pretty creepy stuff in it.
Right. Yep.
So, yeah. And number 3, Andrew, did you have fun with horror?
Overall, yeah, I did have fun with horror with this one. Yeah. What about you?
I'm going to say not really.
Okay.
I'm going to give this one a not really. The first time I watched it, I was getting drowsy during the movie, and I thought maybe it was just because it was after a long work day.
Right.
But then the second time I watched it, I just was getting a little bit bored.
Okay, that's fair.
So, yeah, I wouldn't say I had a lot of fun with this one. I don't see myself jumping back and watching it anytime soon.
Fair enough, man. I get it.
So, and there we go. That is Veronica.
So, like I picked our last movie, which, was a handful of years ago, 5 years, which is something you taught me in our last episode. The more you know.
Wait, the movie. Not you didn't pick it 5 years ago.
I did not pick it 5 years ago. The movie
it was a movie from 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yes.
Which then, I'm curious, how many years ago is the movie you're picking?
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
We once talked about taking requests from people.
Oh, yes.
There's a movie that Brad, if you're out there listening, this is for you, buddy.
Hey, Brad.
Because Brad has been not bugging me, but every so often he asks, are you going to do this movie? When are you going to do this movie?
Nice.
And I'll be like, oh, what do you think we're doing? And he's like, oh, is it this movie? I'm like, no, sorry, it's not that. But I'm going to finally pick it because Brad has wanted me to watch this movie for years.
Oh, my
Well
gosh.
before we even did this podcast. He's been bringing up this movie.
Huh.
This movie is called Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Oh, okay.
It's from 1981. It was a made-for-TV movie
What?
that I don't know much about, but I've heard actually really good things about it.
Whoa. Cool.
So, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. It is available. It looks like it's only available for rental or purchase on Amazon and Vudu.
oh.
However, according to JustWatch.com, it is also available with ads on Peacock, Peacock Premium, Roku, Night Flight, a whole bunch of these little Screambox.
Oh.
So, although that one doesn't say ads, that says subs. So, if you have Screambox, which is a brand new streaming service,
Right. I've heard of that. Yeah.
I've heard of that too, and I might just try it out this month.
Nice.
But yeah, it's available there too. So, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Right on, dude. I'm excited.
We'll see, man. I'm either going to be really happy with Brad or really mad at him.
Right? Right. What if
Dark
this is
Knight.
just him messing with you and has been for 5 years?
Oh man.
That would be kind of an amazing.
Well, it
not
wouldn't be
amazing
5 years, but it'd be a lot.
prank. Or however many years. Yeah. That would be an amazing prank.
Yeah, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, TV movie directed by Frank Di Felitta. It stars Charles Durning.
Oh.
And not James Earl Jones, but Claude Earl Jones.
He was a stormtrooper, not Vader.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool, dude. So 1981. I love it. We're going back to the 80s, dude.
We are going back to the 80s.
Love it. I'm excited
All
for
right.
this.
Also, I'm looking at the cast list.
Yeah.
It also has Larry Drake, Dr. Giggles himself.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I'm
Worth
looking forward
it.
to this.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is maybe.
Maybe. No, I think I've heard enough people say that it's a surprisingly good movie.
Cool.
So,
Oh, right on, man. Well, this
There
will
we go.
This will be a good time. All right.
it'll be a good time.
Awesome. Well, cool, man.
Yeah, cool. There we go.
Of
That's
course.
Episode, what was that? Episode 39 we just did?
I think so.
So episode 40 is our Dark Knight of the Scarecrow episode.
Sweet.
That's what we're doing for episode 40.
Tell Brad that. He'll appreciate it.
I'm not going to tell Brad. I hope he's listening.
There you go. Okay.
I'm going to make him listen to find out that his movie is finally being done.
Good. Get us that extra listen.
All right.
All right.
Well, everybody out there, thank you so much for listening. We love you all.
We love you.
I love you, Andrew.
I love you, Scotty.
I love you.
I love you.
Ziggy. Hey. Ziggy, I love you. Oh, he finally turned and looked.
Oh, I love you, Ziggy.
Ziggy
And
the horror
Bowie.
cat. And well, Bowie's not in here. She's off. It's just Ziggy,
All right.
as usual.
Always.
Well, buddy, you have a wonderful week.
You do too.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Love you, man.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.